welcome back to the channel. We did take one step closer to going full time with the purchase of our Predator 3500 inverter generator. It's from Harbor Freight. We gave right around $800 for it, and you had tax and everything on top of that. But I wish I could say this was a brand new one right out of the box. First time I've ever turned it on, but it's not. This is actually the replacement one. I had purchased one about 3 weeks ago and did the break-in on it. We actually took it out. We boondocked in a Cracker Barrel parking lot, and it did. It ran our air conditioner and refrigerators great. We slept all night through that, and since that time I have not been able to get it run efficiently, and then it just kept stumbling. I do have a couple videos that I'm going to be releasing on how to check the spark arrestor and change the spark plug, and went through and I did all that, along with I even tore the carburetor apart, made sure that the main jet and the pilot jet was not plugged, which they wasn't, so I ended up turning it back in, and they swapped it out this one. Now the one thing I did notice on the one I traded in, and also this one too, the manufacturing date was March 2020. And if anybody knows what happened in March, that America was starting to shut down because they had supply chain issues coming out of China. So I'm really wondering, is the components that they're putting in these more recently built ones, are they kind of subpar because they were just trying to get whatever they could? Regardless, I bought the 2-year warranty on it. There's an extra $150 on top of that. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to go through, I'm going to put oil in this, we're going to hook up the battery, we're going to put gas on it, we're going to fire it up. And I'll get 8 hours on it, and I'll bring you guys back. We'll do an 8-hour oil change on it. We'll see what condition the oil is in. Then after the 8-hour oil change, we'll go to 25-hour mark. We'll change it then. If it runs good throughout that whole 25 hours, I think we have a good one. And I have several other modifications that I'm going to do to these. I just want to make sure I get a good one before I start modifying everything. Let's get started on doing the oil change. If you're looking at the front of the generator, it'll be on the left hand side. You'll see the oil filled door. Basically it just unscrews. And let's pull you in here. As you can see right back in here, that's your dipstick tube. There's a little bit of residual oil. I think that's just when they fired it up in the factory. So there should be none in there. This thing does come with a nice little oil funnel. Basically all you gotta do is slide it in there. This will take 20 ounces. I am using full synthetic 10W30. I don't want to starve this thing for oil at all. So the next thing we're going to do, right underneath here, is your battery. So we're going to move that out. Phillips screwdriver. Grab right here and pull it down, and your battery comes out. Now it comes with all the hardware you need to mount this. This is the one nice thing. Most generators that you get the oil, but you don't get the battery. Harbor Freight's the other way around. They don't supply the oil, but they supply the battery. So I'd much rather have the battery than the oil. Oil's cheap. As you pull it down, you'll have a black and you'll have a red. Just line it right up there. Red always goes to positive, black always goes to negative. When you put these together, got a bolt, got a lock washer, and then you got a regular washer. You got a little nut like that, and that'll slide right in there. Turn this around. Snug it up nice and tight. Now we'll do the black side. Slide that in there. Strap goes up through the battery, down tight, clips right in there. Come back through, put the clip on. Now these are just cables that I put to, because it stores in the back of my truck. Don't want somebody stealing it, so I tried to make it a little more harder for them. Now what we gotta do is put fuel in this, and we'll be ready to fire it up. One last thing that we're going to do is, since this is brand new, these motors do have a tendency of running very lean, which means they produce a lot of soot. I'm going to go ahead and take out the spark arrestor for right now until we get through the break-in period and everything. Then I'll put it back in. Doesn't hurt it to run it without it, but if you're in like a national forest, campground that allows generators to be ran or whatever, you do need to have it in there, because if a spark comes out, you could start a grass fire if you're in a dry area. So I don't want to run it without it, but I don't want to break it in with this already in here. What we'll do is when we get to the 25-hour mark, we'll change the spark plug in it, we'll put the spark arrestor back in, and we'll see how it goes from there after we do some mods on it to open it up. So let's get started on this. It's real simple. There's only 6 screws. Set that back here. Then we're 8 millimeters. That is what a brand new spark arrestor looks like, the first part. And there's the second part. We now have our oil in it, we have our gas in it, got the spark arrestor removed, have the battery installed. The only thing left to do now is to start it up. We'll turn it over to start. You got 3 positions. You got off, run, and start. Start is basically like choke. When you turn it over to the start, you're choking it. Then we turn back to run, it's just like a regular. You have eco mode on and off. When you go to start it, you want to make sure that the eco mode's off. And all you do is hit the starting button. And that's how quiet it is. Pushing out 124 volts right now. As you can see, it's not that loud. We're still carrying on a conversation. So we're going to let this run for about 8 hours. And hopefully it makes that 8 hours. We'll do that initial oil change. We'll come back and do it in 25 hours. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. And thank you guys for watching.